We argue that although surfing seems like a sport open to both men and women in today's popular media culture, it went through a lot of changes since the early beginnings of the sport, and female surfers faced many difficulties as they tried to succeed in the industry. Our goal is to take a look back into the past, starting from how it all began in 1915 with Isabel Lethem, and trace the lineage of women throughout time and their pursuit of equality among waves. Isabel was truly a one-of-a-kind athlete. Not only was she a pioneer in the surfing world, but she was also a champion swimmer and lifeguard. This image displays the confidence and poise she held as an athlete. Although her accomplishments are admirable, she does not consider herself a hero. Isabel Lethem is renowned throughout the surfing world as the first Australian to ride a surfboard, although she disputed this, preferring to describe herself as an early Australian female surfer who experimented with riding a board. Her modesty is noble and yet another attribute that female surfers today try to imitate. Perhaps it is the modesty of women that caused them to be underrepresented in surfing today.
Female surfers in the 60s and early 70s had to be brave and willing to put up with the testosterone in the lineup to enjoy and progress the sport of women's surfing. Women like Phyllis ODonnell inspired many of the time's young and up-and-coming surfers. Others such as Pearl Turton and Gail Cooper, who won the Bells Beach Pro 10 times, are the pioneers of the sport and the ones who put in the groundwork for all female surfers today. With so many surfers joining the sport in the 60s, waves started to become more and more crowded. Surfers began fighting for waves, both in a civil manner and sometimes the opposite. Lineups often turn violent when two people wanted the same wave and one person is disobeying the rules of the water. With hostility getting worse, men would even turn aggressive towards the women in the water. Male surfers would bully women and attempt to scare them from surfing in general. They even went as far as to create anti-feminine slogans that would deter women from taking up surfing altogether. No chicks on sticks and no boobs in the tube were just a couple of them.
After 1977, women's surfing in Australia really took flight when Pam Burrows won her first local title. Although she was not the first female surfer in Australia, she was the first to reach professional status and to win a world title. Female surfers during this time were able to compete in surfing competitions, but they had to portray themselves in a masculine manner in order to be taken seriously. They also had to maintain a fitness level similar to a man's and also had to suffer through challenges that faced female surfers in the ultra-macho 1980s. Pam Burrows was declared as a professional surfer at age 16 in 1980, but she did not win a title for a world championship until 1990. She did not look the part of a stereotypical female surfer, and she stated that they all had long blonde hair and classic figures and tans and wore swimsuits, and also that the surfy girl tag labeled her a bit more than she would have liked. Burrows suffered from an eating disorder in the 1980s as a result of her struggle to make it in the surfing world and lack of championship titles. Because Burrows' sense of self-worth was tied to whether or not she won contests, she found herself on a continual emotional roller coaster. In 1987, at age 19, Burrows had many other female surfers to compete with for world titles, and in the media's eyes, she was a mature surfer who should be winning.
The first women's surfing magazine, Wahine, ran from 1994 to 2002 and helped bring attention to the sport. Among the many athletes that were featured in the publication, Australian pro surfer Serena Brooke was featured on the front cover twice, in 1999 and 2001. Vans Shoe Company was one of Brooke's sponsors during her career and featured her in several magazine ads, often capitalizing on her feminine, pretty looks and contrasting it with her masculine maneuvers while surfing. This late 1990s Vans advertisement, in its tagline, "You don't need stiletto heels to make a point," epitomizes the appeal women surfers have and combining it with their product. Although Australian pro Pauline Menser proved that she can surf, she spent 13 years without sponsorship. She believes that she hasn't found a sponsor all these years because she doesn't fit the marketing image of the blue-eyed blonde or the stereotypical Hawaiian. Looking at this photo of Menser, it's obvious that she is neither. Instead, she is a brunette with a boyish haircut. Because pro surfers act as models in sponsor advertisements, they typically want the women to look feminine and fit the stereotype. Choosing to keep her hair short gives Menser a more masculine look, especially while surfing. As she pulls off a hard turn, only the top portion of her body is seen in the shot. It can be argued that Menser could be mistaken for a man in this image because her hairstyle and her wetsuit shirt, as from this angle it does not make her chest as apparent as a bikini top would.
The surfing maneuver being performed in this photo by Stephanie Gilmore is comparable to the photo of Trudy Todd seen in the previous photo. The only difference is that this photo, the Australian Stephanie Gilmore, is on the cover of a magazine. This isn't just any surfing magazine, folks. This is the go-to publication for male surfers worldwide. Being the first female surfer to land the cover is an honor. And in an interview regarding this topic, Stephanie described the current state of women's surfing as fresh, gorgeous, valuable. This publication hit the shelves in August 2011. When Sally Fitzgibbons won the Swatch Girls Pro in Horsing de France, she won 3,500 points from ASP to go towards her 2011 surfing career, helping her finish in second place for the ASP Women's World title, behind the Hawaiian surfer Carissa Moore. She also won a $4,500 check, which she hoisted before the crowd in this photo, and more than anything, she won bragging rights. This image of Sally holding her reward before a huge crowd captures the fame that women surfing has obtained, and it seems that Sally could not appear happier at this moment. Girls Draw the Line in the Sand at Surffest is the title of this article that is featured on the front page of the Herald Sports section, a rather prestigious honor. Beck Woods was given this adulation on March 17, 2011, in the name of all Australian women surfers. The women behaved competitively in the surf contest, according to Woods' account of the atmosphere at Surffest. She said, "The level of surfing has risen and even the round of 60 is difficult, meaning that it is not easy to advance ahead of the competition since there are so many strong female competitors even in the preliminary round. At this particular contest, the judges noted that female surfers were performing trickier maneuvers than the guys, which is looked at as unusual. This newspaper looks past the absurdities and focuses on the simple fact that women surfed well in the competition that day, especially Rebecca Woods."
In a video titled "What Makes You a Roxy Girl" by Roxy Australia, you can see that being a Roxy Girl and the face of an international surfing company is based more on the lifestyle of having fun and looking good rather than showing off their skills of being a professional surfer.
Theoretical concept. By perpetuating the slim body image, sports media communicates to the audience, in particular the female audience, that this is how they should look. Susan Bordeaux argues in The Material Girl the effects of postmodern culture, that although popular culture repeatedly tells us that we can choose our own bodies, the image coupled with this message assert that skinny and fit is what we should choose because it is the ideal. Since female surfers are represented in advertising media to show off their figures, the message sent out from them is that a woman should have the same kind of figure.
Like Roxy, Nike also has their own videos to promote each individual sport. This image is a screenshot about 17 seconds into Nike's video to promote their women's surfing division titled "Leave a Message." Nike is an international company that prides itself on the value of sports and athletic talent, but it's interesting to see that even a company like this would objectify their female athletes and pride them more on their looks rather than their actual talents.